Yeah, I get right to the racks. Then I make that shit back. Run up on me, get shot in the back.
Yo, before we get started, yo, I appreciate you, man. I
No,
I, I study
yeah.
your music. I study your music. I did a little homework on you. You're a real one, bro. And I'm not saying that just because we here, but I gotta give you your flowers, bro. You
No,
are
thank
hip.
you.
You are hip hop, bro.
No, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I'm trying my best.
It's Jerry TV in the building, man. I'm here with Pops.
Ooh, ooh.
And today's special guest is Bozo. What's going on, bro?
The one and only.
Hello, fellas. What's up with y'all? Shout out to the
Chilling.
East Coast, man.
Yeah, New York to LA, man.
New York to LA, LA to New York.
Yes, sir. Shit, I'm amazing. Everything's good. I'm an entrepreneur, businessman, so I have the luxury to take my kids to school, go hustle, come back, pick them up, go hustle some more. Do what I'm passionate about. You feel what I'm saying? So every day's a blessing. You know what I mean? I've been in fucked up circumstances, so to me this shit is like amazing.
100%. We should start from the beginning, though, right?
Yeah, we like to start from the beginning. You want to start with like a school, like
I guess parents. Like, how was your? So, did you grow up in a 2-parent household? I believe you had a single mother, right?
No, I did grow up with both parents. My mom and my dad were amazing parents.
Yeah.
I had a beautiful childhood. Just tragically, my mother contracted pancreatic cancer when I was 12 years old.
Wow.
So I had the unfortunate experience to see her die. You know what I'm saying? Like pancreas over a body, and it takes about like 4 to 5 months to kill somebody.
Wow.
And that was my mom's, baby. So yeah, I was at the hospital a lot. Witnessing that shit and seeing that affect my father. My father was one of them men that loves his woman as a partner, but also almost as a mother, because he didn't have a close relationship with his mother, So my mom was a lot to him. So when she passed away, he lost a lot of his will and a lot of his faith, So he lost custody of me. I want to say about the age of 14, he lost custody of me to the system. So from then on, I just kind of bounced around from juvenile halls, and they call these things called placement homes. It's kind of like for, troubled kids, almost like foster homes and stuff like that, but not looking for they're not looking for parents to adopt you. They're just looking for someone to house you till you turn 18,
Yeah, for sure. Okay. And you're El Salvadorian and Mexican, right?
Yes, sir. My mom's from San Salvador. My dad's from Durango, Mexico.
How was that experience? Like, two different cultures. Is it almost similar or?
The best. Everybody, they all beef with each other. So I had the advantage to manipulate uncles and aunts against each other and get what I wanted, no matter where I was at.
Yeah, I'm impressed. I'm impressed with you, man. You're doing your homework
Right,
here, huh?
Come on, bro.
Okay. So you were the only child, or you had siblings?
No, I have two sisters. I have two older sisters.
Okay.
They're the ones that took care of me. When I was institutionalized, I was institutionalized a lot. I've done about 18 years in prison and juvenile halls mixed together. So I was institutionalized a lot. Just reckless. You feel what I'm saying? That lack of love or that loss makes you almost hate yourself. You feel what I mean? So I just didn't give a fuck, And when you're young and you don't got nobody to answer to, you tend to be the last one on the block. You feel what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Sure.
with that comes a lot of jail and incarceration and just violence and drugs. And I've done every drug in the fucking on the menu pretty much. But
yeah, I know you spoke on that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. I'm not one of them guys that goes on benders. Like if you're the homie and we go do some shit, I'll turn up with you one night. I mean, crazy. You know what I'm saying? I'm good for 24 hours, like on a real good. But after that, like I like to chill. I like being sober. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. So what age? So what was your dad doing when he lost you to the system? Like, can you talk about that?
Yeah, he was just like, I don't know, man. I guess the best way I could describe it is just partying. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he had his own issues. Not drugs or nothing. He used to drink a lot. You know what I'm saying? So, he lost his motivation to work. Before that, my dad was an extremely hardworking man. That's where I get it. I had a good example. Like my dad worked from morning to sundown. You feel what I'm saying? My mom was the same way. The work ethic that they instilled in me, I still have to this day. But But yeah, before that, man, you know, my dad was amazing. He just, you know, he had a broken heart, like real deep broken heart. You feel me?
Yeah, it
So
happens. He lost the love of his life. So yeah.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it really fucked him up, and we mended our relationship later on. Not that we never beefed. I was never the type of kid to disrespect my parents. You know,
Yeah.
no matter what I went through, I never spoke down on my father. Never called him out of his name. I always respected and loved him, but I lost him when I was doing my 10 years. I lost him. I want to say, I think it was 2000. What year was it? I want to say it was like 2011. He passed away on me while I was incarcerated,
Oh
and
wow.
that's when that was a big turning point for me in my life. You know, I realized I had taken a lot for granted at that point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
to not have no, you know, even as a grown man, to not have parents is hard, man. You feel me?
Yeah,
Like you
man.
don't have.
I did that. I lost my dad in 2012, so I'm kind of like feeling what you're saying. You know, it's especially when you have unresolved issues, because you know when you become a man and you have issue with your parents, you reach a point where you're like, yo, I can't even be mad anymore. I'm a grown ass man. I gotta live my life, and you start kind of forgiving, and you try to fix it, and then like my father died, so I was never able to like fix it like I wanted to. You know, so that's tough.
Yeah, well, they say as a child you idolize your parent. They say as a young adult you demonize your parent, and when you're full grown you humanize them. You know, you
Yeah.
tend to you tend to understand why they were the way they were. You feel what I'm saying? So I never, like I said, I never judged him. I always loved him dearly, and losing him, yeah, was hard for me. That shit really changed everything for me, the course of my life. You feel me?
For sure. So, what age did you jump off the porch?
Shit, fuck. Yeah, like 13. 13, I was it was cracking. Well, you gotta think that was the 90s.
Which is crazy. It's a
So
crazy time.
yeah, it was a crazy time, especially out here in LA where I'm from. And the hood just took me in. You feel what I'm saying? You gotta understand, I got the same homies from kindergarten to now, you know?
Wow.
Like the dudes that I went to kindergarten got into my same hood, my same clique, and we're still homies to this day. Like I see them almost every weekend. So I got into a real family oriented neighborhood. Like my gang is not your typical gang. Like we're a small gang and we really love each other, and we really, you know, we're really family. You feel what I'm saying? We're old school, you know what I mean? We got old school
Yeah.
traditions.
Yeah.
We love each other. So
You're very lucky for that. You're very lucky because
yeah, hell yeah,
there's always
trust
a lot of
me. Trust me.
turmoil within cliques, and
Yeah.
like even me growing up, I wasn't necessarily in a gang, but the dynamics of relationships change because people get older, people get jealous, people become too much of a their leech on you, so you kind of have to like balance everything out, you know.
Yeah, we went through those circumstances, you know. Some people got weeded out, but luckily for us, it was never on some violence or bad things. We just went separate ways with certain individuals because you know certain people got wrapped up in the drugs. You know, certain people got wrapped up with bad habits and bad ways of treating each other. So you know, it's process of elimination. You feel me? Life will do that. You know, life will determine who you hang with and who you don't hang with if you just pay attention. You know.
Yeah, for
For
sure.
sure.
So when did you get into like any police contact? Like, what was the? Do you remember the first time you got like any police contact growing up?
The first time I got into police contact was early on my freshman year in high school. I oh shit, it was before that. So yeah, so we beat us some kid at a bus stop. The summer of me going from 8th grade to 9th grade. We caught some dude slipping at a bus stop that was representing the other side. I had my sister used to have an old school station wagon,
Yeah.
a big ass banana boat with red interior, like bloody red interior. And fuck she used to have the baby, and she would be like, "Hey, go get me the milk from the wick." So one day, unbeknownst to her, she sent me to go get it right when they were letting out the high school. So me and my mischievous mind, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go scoop up the homies. Fuck it, and I'm gonna take everybody with me. So I pulled to the school, and we all, cause my clique, like I said, we were as deep as fuck. So I had the station wagon packed all the way to the back. You know what I'm saying? Where the luggage goes, yeah. So we're still going to the WIC, but we're cruising around the high school, you know, being jackasses and shit, and we catch one of the enemies at the bus stop, and I pull up on the dude, and we all jump out and beat the shit out of him. And I was so naive at the time to like, the criminal lifestyle that I told on myself. I went to jail and I was like, yeah, I kicked them and stomped them out, and that was the first time I went to the halls,
Yeah.
Yeah, and just to let the younger generation know about the WIC. The WIC is like when they help you out with the food, and they send you with a little cool. Your sister gives you a little slip. You give them the slip, and you can get like some cereal and maybe Similac.
Grocery store for people that need assistance, little
Yeah.
store.
You get the Kaboom. You get the Kaboom cereal. You don't get Fruit Loops.
We're WIC babies. We love that shit, man. The WIC.
For sure.
So how far did you get with high school? Did you finish high school, or did you
Well,
stop
what I
going?
did, I started the 9th grade. I got kicked out over a fight at school, gangbanging too, just a head of fight with another enemy, and then I never went back. After that, I just kept doing so much time. I was always locked up in and out camps and juvenile halls and all that, and I got out at 17, right before I turned 18, and at that point, the plan was to go to the military. So my sister Amy was like, the middle sister, the one older right above me, was like, hey man, like, what's up? You still want to go to the military? And I was like, hell yeah. I always wanted, I wanted to learn how to be a killer. You feel what I'm saying? A trained killer. I was, I grew up on that shit, fucking Arnold and fucking Bloodsport, and you know what I'm saying? All them, you know what I'm saying? The military movies, So that was always my shit. And sure enough, I went to an adult school and I did the GED thing and I passed. And I went to the recruiter and all this shit. Recruiter came to the crib, was like, it's on and cracking. We need you. We want you. But at the time, there was a war in my neighborhood. We were really going back and forth. We were at it all day. There was curfews in the hood. You know what I'm saying? Because we were at it so much. And yeah, I got caught with a Heckler and Koch 4.5 and a Glock 26. And that fucked up my chances to go to the military. I ended up going to prison. I ended up in Susanville State Prison in California, up north.
At 18, I'm guessing, right?
At 18, that's the first time I ever saw a northerner.
Oh, okay. And how was that experience? I know there wasn't no peace treaty back then. There's a peace treaty now, but like back then there wasn't, right?
Yeah, so there would be phases of some kind of peace, you know what I'm saying?
Okay,
like we were at each other, but you gotta understand, prison has its own economy, you know what I'm saying? So to put it to you in a perspective that you understand, it's like you can't shut us down for COVID all the time because we need to do business. You feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So the powers that be would let us cease fire between months and shit, and we would go back at it. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of times, even with ceasefire in prison or it would still kick off. Like we were just so trained to have animosity towards each other that we would look for excuses just to jump off. So yeah, that I ended up in the hole in Susanville for an assault on an inmate. On a guy from but what was the fuck was he? No. I forgot, Vallejo, or I forgot. I remember it. I just remember his name, Sleepy, some dude I used to work the kitchen with. But anyways, I ended up going to the hole in Susanville, and that was quite the experience because I caught what they give you, a shoe, segregated housing term and shit. Where I had to stay in the hole for a certain amount of time. It's like jail in jail, you go see a judge and same shit, like, oh, this is what this carries. You're staying in the hole for this long, and then we're gonna find a new location to house you in. So I was in Susanville hole, and that was a crazy experience because at that time I was like 19 and I had seen the movies, you feel what I'm saying? But being back there was like a big eye opener, you know what I'm saying? Like well, that's where all the hitters were at, all the hitters were back there, and it was very strict, and we were doing burpees on the yard in the snow because you can't refuse yard over there, you know what I'm saying? Like rain doesn't matter, snow, you got to come out. And then I ended up being in charge of the motherfucking the rutina, the workout,
At 19?
because I was young. Yeah, 19. The older homie was like, hey, I want you to run the workout. So, but it would be crazy, right? Because So imagine two basketball courts, right? Fenced. You know the ones like in New York, right? The ones fenced, the square.
Yeah.
And then in between both of them, there was a walkway.
Okay.
So the guards could access us, right?
Yeah.
And then, but above that walkway, there was the gun tower that was like a nest, and he could see every angle of the yard.
Wow.
One yard was the Northerners, and the other yard was ours. And we would come out at the same time. We would actually see each other. But in the hole, it's not one of those places where you like disrespect each other openly. There's a certain that yes, it's on site. Yes, it's all that beef and animosity. It's fuck you, fuck me. But we don't verbalize it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Out of integrity for each other. Like, yeah, we're all soldiers. We all beat this shit, but we're not gonna make asses out of ourselves. Like, if we can't physically kill each other, we're not gonna run our mouths, you know?
Yeah.
But there would be competition on the yard to see who could be the loudest during the routine, you know, during the cadence. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Crazy.
Yeah, man. It's no joke,
So them
man.
them fools were, you know, them guys run a strict program in jail, you know? So yeah, it was a trip, but it was a very bro, trip out on this. My high school sweetheart at the time, my baby's mom,
Yeah.
she had my baby, right? I had my first baby at 17. She was 15, I was 17. So when I went to jail, he became my pen pal. We rekindled, right? And that was the first time that I had ever experienced like betrayal, you know? She started being one of my OG homies from my hood.
Oh,
okay.
Feel me? Yeah, and I found out, bro, while I'm in the hole. You know what I'm saying? My sister's like, hey, through a letter, mind you, because we couldn't get phone calls in the hole. So mind you, I'm finding out everything that's going on through mail, right? So my sister writes me a letter and she's like, I don't want you to take this the wrong way. I need to let you know because you're my baby brother, but so-and-so is being with so-and-so now. And she gave me the government name, his government name. And I was like, oh, man, that's my older homie. He's like 8 years older than me. You feel me? And I was like, wait a minute, what the fuck? Like, what's really going on? You feel what I'm saying? But it was a growing up moment. You feel what I'm saying? It was a moment to grow up. Like, I remember telling myself, like, man, I ain't going to war with nobody over a female. Like, what isn't mine isn't mine. You feel what I'm saying? Like, what's meant to be mine gonna be mine. If it don't matter where I'm at. What's gonna belong to me is gonna belong to me. You know what I'm saying? But I was expected to get out and shoot old boy because I was that guy on the streets.
Right.
You feel me? On the streets, I was a gunner. You feel what I'm saying? Before I went to prison, you know?
Yeah.
So what was expected of me was like, on the streets, it was one of the things where they were like, shit, Bozo gonna get out and shoot this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I got out on some player shit. I was like, man, like, the Lord has always blessed me with women. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't fighting. You know what I'm saying? I let that shit go, but it was that was a growing up moment right there. You feel what I'm saying? And then, yeah, it was quite the experience, man. But
yeah. So how many years did you do that first term?
That time I did 2.5 only.
Okay, my bad.
I did 2.5 only for those 2 weapons, yeah.
So what was your plan coming home? Yeah.
In reality, I was supposed to do less. What happened was I kept fighting. I had caught 2 fights in there, then I caught the assault. But when I got home, my plan was to see my daughter, you know. My daughter was at the time now 4 years old. I had missed out on a lot. I was a young little thug ass fool with a little baby and you know, it was the shit, man. Like, my sister had took the role of my mother, you know what I'm saying? So, and then her husband, he's an OG from a gang local, you know what I'm saying? So I'm still in that environment where it's like hood friendly, where it's not like, you know, nobody's judging nobody, you feel what I'm saying? It's normal, you feel what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
when everybody's at work, I'm watching the kids at the pad, and my sister comes home from work, or my brother-in-law, I go hit the block, you feel me? And it was just one of the things where, like, it was normal, you feel what I'm saying? So I was loving it, man, but I was always really addicted to making money, you feel me? And when I was young, growing up, rest in peace, my homeboy Termite, he taught me how to do robberies. So at that point, that's when I started going up to prison for more extent, longer time, because I was doing robberies at this time. I was, man, I hit everything with a motherfucking welcome mat. You feel what I'm saying? Like,
Wow.
Wow.
Any
yeah. So I
banks?
started doing
No. Any banks or?
no, never no banks because
Yeah.
I saw the homies from Carmelas get caught up doing banks, man, and they got broke the fuck up. So I was scared of that shit. But
Yeah.
this is before, you know, you gotta understand, man. This is before when only rich people had cell phones. You feel me?
Mm.
People with real money had cell phones. There was no camera on the phone. Like,
Yeah,
you
yeah, yeah,
know,
yeah.
people weren't really telling on you. You feel what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
now, motherfuckers tell. Like back then, it was like, man, as long as you don't pistol with me and take my grandma's chain she gave me for my fucking holy communion, like I ain't saying nothing. You feel what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
So it was a. I mean, I'm not gonna call it a good time, but it was just different times. You feel what I'm saying? But
Yeah, because you can't
yeah,
do
I did.
crime now. You can't do crime now because
Nah, crime is
it's
out, bro.
cameras everywhere, man.
New York.
To
Yeah,
everybody
crime is
watching
out.
this, if you live a criminal lifestyle, you got to shut it down. You get it recorded everywhere you go.
Yeah,
ATMs, cameras.
it's a different time now for sure. Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
But but yeah, I went that time I was only out like about 4 months, dog.
Oh.
I
Wow.
was out like 4 months, and then I caught a robbery right there in the city of Pico Rivera. Um, we hit a this location that was like a car wash with a restaurant and gas station.
Mm-hmm.
You know the multi-dimensional
Yeah.
shits they got now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
3-in-1.
Um, and I knew, yeah, it was a one-way mart, whatever the fuck. And I knew how they ran their fucking system, you know. So we pulled up and hit that motherfucker, man. And then the crazy part is, dog, look, we get on the freeway to get away, and this motherfucking lady was following us with a cell phone.
No shit.
So we're in the freeway, mind you. I'm in my sister's Chrysler Caravan.
right, right,
She let me borrow it to go do some errands and shit. But as usual, I'm in the hood with the homies,
right.
trapped up, fucking around. And then I see CHP behind me, right? Not CHP, but the motorcycle one.
Mm-hmm.
So I take off on a high speed chase, dog, and I get lost, fool. So I got two of the homies in the car, right?
There's no navigation.
And I took no, there's no navigation. Now that was back then when you had to print out the shit. Remember,
Oh
Bob? You had to
shit.
print out
Yeah,
the
I remember that. Yeah, yeah,
Damn.
yeah,
what was
yeah.
it, MapQuest? I think it was or some shit.
Yeah, yeah, Mad
So
Quest.
so I tell the homies, hey, get the cash, get your gun. Next exit, I'm getting off. I don't know where the fuck we're at, but I'm getting off, right? So I get off on the street called South Street in the city of Anaheim. I get off the 5 freeway and I make a left. Dog, what you know about my dumbass was driving straight into the Anaheim police station with the motherfuckers, with the motherfuckers behind me, dog. Right?
Yo.
Right.
Oh, so so I'm going in the caravan and I see a sign that says Anaheim police station. I'm like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
So I make a left. I make a left into the first residential area, and I tell the homies, all right, it's time to go, fellas. I'm gonna pull up into a driveway, bounce the fuck out, right? So I hit a driveway hard as fuck, boom, and then the cop behind me tries to block my door so that I
Yeah.
can't jump out.
Right,
My
right.
homies jump out from the other side, and I'm stuck. And I roll down the window and I climb out that bitch, dog, and I break, right? I break. I got a 1911 on me, 45 1911, right?
Yeah.
And you're already a felon at this point, so it's not a good look.
Yeah, hell yeah. I'm fucked either way.
Yeah.
So I break and I make it to this big ass fucking like it was the bushes that you see people trim, right? It was a
Yeah.
nice wall of a fucking bush. And I'm deep. I mean, bro, I'm telling you, I'm so deep in this motherfucker. Like, I feel spiders crawling on me. Like, I'm deep in this bitch, dog. And I'm there for like 3 hours, dog. And I'm thinking, like, all right, we're gonna make it. But I could hear the helicopters, you know?
Right,
I
right,
could hear
right,
the
right.
helicopters. And at one point, dog, I hear the helicopter say, come out or we're gonna release the K9 unit.
Oh
And I'm
shit.
thinking in my head, listen, I'm thinking in my head, damn, the homies got caught, right?
Yeah.
And then they say it again. Come out or we're gonna release the canine unit. Dog, they was talking to me, dog. I didn't know they was talking to me. The mother they throw look, boy, on God. They throw the big ass canine over the wall, dog. And this fucking dog, when I'm telling you, bro, he fucking went into the bush, dog, got me. He locked on my leg and dragged me out. I got bit 22 times in my legs. I was in the hospital for 4 months from all my dog bites.
What
That
the fuck?
motherfucking dog. Yeah, the dog bit. I have like 2 small chunks missing out of my leg. The Anaheim Police Department let the motherfucking dog attack me for so long, dog, that to this day I remember the dog's name, dog. His fucking name was Zeus, dog. They called the dog Zeus. It was a big ass German Shepherd, bro.
Wow.
Fucked me up. So I went. Okay, look, this is another story. So I end up in the county jail, but in the hospital unit with all the disabled fools that don't got like an arm, that are missing a leg, that are in fucking wheelchairs and shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's a whole different experience because they're all gangbangers, but they're all missing limbs.
Yeah.
And everybody's telling you like how they lost their limbs. You know, some fools like one dude that I was there. I want to say his name was Pirate. I forgot what Crip gang he was from, but a cop had shot off his arm with a shotgun. You know, another dude had lost his leg from a motorcycle accident on a high-speed chase. He hit a curb and then he flipped. And you know the stop signs on the corners?
Yeah.
Yeah.
His leg landed right on it. Whoop! Cut his shit off. Yeah.
Oh shit.
So I was back there with those guys for a minute, and then then I caught on that term. I did for that lick I did 5 years. It was 4 years 2 months. I did total, but they gave me 5 years. So I went to prison that time again. Yeah. That time I ended up in Delano 3 yard. That was dope experience too. I mean, I hate to say it, but back then, like doing time wasn't bad, man. I was growing up. You feel what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I was gonna ask you that. Like, were you ever scared to go to jail? Or was like you gonna be with your homies, so you didn't care?
Nah, hell nah. No, you gotta understand. Growing up, all I saw was convicts being glamorized, dog. Like, you know, my sisters had pen pals that were in jail. Then fools will send the pictures all buff, you know, them pictures on IG, you know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, prison was like a rite of passage, you know. Like to me, in my hood, in my environment where I grew up at, all the bad bitches love the convicts, dog.
Wow.
You would see it in the hood. You would see the interaction. Like they would celebrate you coming home from prison more than if you came back from war. You feel what I'm saying? If you came back from the military, that's that barter mentality. You feel what I'm saying?
What about your homies? Did they get caught too?
Hell yeah, the fools got caught. My homeboy Vago caught like 12 years. My other homie, it was like his first time, so they gave him probation or some shit. But yeah, we all got caught. All of us got caught that day. Everybody got caught. The van got fucking. My sister was mad as fuck because they had done that fingerprint shit where they put the powder all inside the whole fucking car. So it had fucked up her caravan. But yeah, I ended up over there in Delano 3 yard with all the lifers. I ended up in the lifer building. And I used to take care of all the older homies, man. All the older homies. I used to work in the kitchen. So I would steal the cheese and steal the tortillas and the brown sugar so they could make wine and white lining. And I would just give it to the OGs. I would always bless all the older homies, and you know, every day they'll have something when I came home. You know what I mean? Like a burrito or a spread here and there. You know what I'm saying? It was just love. You know, I was probably the favorite little homie in the fucking building. You know.
So that was from 19 to 24.
That was from 19. Yeah, that was from 19 to 24. Yeah, exactly.
Wow. So how was your experience? So was there a lot of riots? What was the craziest thing you've seen in prison like during this time?
Right there. So right there, we were down south. So it was more of like, there was action, but it wasn't really riots. There was a couple riots here and there, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't constant like in Susanville, right? Over here, it was more drug debts that were getting dealt with, you know? People that weren't paying, fools were getting stabbed. Like, that was the first time that I had ever really got asked to go on a mission, meaning like to go stab somebody, you know? But I was excluded from it like last minute because somebody had pretty much volunteered to do it instead, you know? Somebody that like just wanted to leave that prison yard, you know? Like, you understand, man, people think crazy in prison, you know? Like if you don't like where you're at and you want to get close to your family or you maybe just want to go to a different location, if you can't do it by like permission with the administration on the yard, you're just like, fuck it, I'm gonna stab somebody and they'll ship me out.
Wow, that's crazy.
So motherfuckers were like, hey, fuck that, I need to go. I don't want to be here. I'm gonna do it, you know. So yeah, so right there, people were just getting whacked over debts or like, you know, fucking up, breaking the rules. You know what I'm saying?
How do
But
how
that
do
was
how do the lifers treat you? Because do they give you advice? They're like, bro, little man, you're
yes.
gonna be able to go home. Make sure you keep your nose clean. Because the lifers are
Look,
not coming home.
yeah, I got two different types of advice. Okay, the homie Psycho from Lomas and Artie from Winter Gardens used to tell me, hey man, get out, get your little bitch, have babies and chill. You know, this shit's whack. And then Rocco from Blackwood told me, hey, Bozo, do me a favor. When you get out, just kill a cop. Fool, we know you're coming back for murder anyways, so you might as well make it worth it. You know? And I was like, what the fuck? And he was like, yeah, man, smoke you a cop. So when you get life, at least you're fucking happy while you're sitting here. And I was like, all right. So it just depends who
Oh my
you're.
god.
It just depends who you're around. You feel what I'm saying? Like, you gotta understand, man. Some fools are just really with it, you know? It don't matter where they're at, what circumstances they're under. Like, there's some of these dudes are real gladiators, real Vikings. They're real warriors. Like, they just, I don't know. The God designed them that way. They just don't give a fuck, man. And
Yeah, yeah.
that's the interesting part about prison or being in places where you see men's grit. Like, I've been on job sites where you really see dudes for who they are. Like, you know what I mean? Doing real shit and real conditions. So you see the realness of people come out, and prison is one of the places where you find out who's who and what's what real quick, you know?
So, what was your introduction to the game of hip hop, rapping, and like? So, what happens? You come out at 24, you fresh out,
Yeah. Yeah,
and
so that's when I got signed. So I was always a big hip hop kid, you know. I since I was a little boy, man, my mom never really. I've always told the story. My mom was very, you know. Now in hindsight, when I think about it, I feel like, damn, maybe Mama knew what she was doing because my mom didn't really buy me toys. She bought me cassette tapes, you know.
Wow.
She never really like believed in a Nintendo 64, but she would buy me 5 CDs at the store. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whatever music I wanted, you know. She was just different like that. So as a kid, I had access to whatever music I wanted, you know. When it was Tower Records, Music Revolution, or all that shit, like she would buy me CDs and shit and cassette tapes. And you know, I was that little boy. I would stay up till 2 in the morning, 2 in the morning to watch Uptown what was it? Uptown videos. I think it was like BET and shit. Late night it would come out, and the basement, all that shit. Like I was always really heavy on hip hop. That's all I ever known, man. Honestly, if you ask me to play you, like, let's say a female, right? My wife is like, play some love music. I'm probably gonna play fucking Tribe Called Quest, Bonita Apple Bum. Like, I don't know love music. You know, Around the Way, Girl by LL Cool J. You feel what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, yeah,
that's my. I just, you know, I just love rap music. You know, so since a kid, I had a big collection. I always listened to everybody, like everything, in, you know, from any, you know, city, state, whatever, and on that term, when I went up for robbery, I really started writing music when I was in prison because they killed my cousin Smiley. My cousin Smiley from Belgar Locals, he got murdered. He got shot 9 times in the city of Bell Gardens.
Oh wow.
And the best way for me to express my pain, you know, in prison you don't cry, man. You know, it's not one of the things where you lose somebody and you break down and homies come and give you a hug. It's when that type of shit happens in prison, people walk away from it because they don't want to think about the reality of what could happen to them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like when I lost my brother-in-law in prison, like I noticed people weren't trying to like even be around me. They were avoiding me because they don't want to hear that type of shit.
Yeah.
Damn, Bozo's dad just died. His brother-in-law just died. His cousin just died. His grandma just died. Like people, they give you space, you know?
Yeah.
Because nobody wants to even think about that shit. You feel what I'm saying? So so you know, I would go in my cell and mourn my cousin the best way I could, cry and shit, pray a lot, and then I would write music. You know, I would write raps, and then I got out, and I was very fortunate to get signed quick. Like, I mean, I got signed within fucking days of being out, dog. I ended up around Capone. Capone was had signed my homeboy. I went to the studio on literally on my first session. I got offered a deal, you know.
Wow.
Yeah. So How did you discover, like, how did you come up with your style? Because you listening to your music, you could see the progression that you got better, but you were always very good from the beginning. So how did that come? Was it from just listening to all these different rappers, and then you did
It
your
was from
own
listening to
version?
all these. It was from listening to a lot of rappers, and it was from being confined a lot. I read a lot of books. You feel me? So I always was very fascinated on how people paint pictures with their words. You know, like there's certain books that if you read, man, they don't only paint pictures; they paint emotion. You know,
Mm-hmm.
people can really tell you. Certain authors are very articulate in how they describe certain emotions and certain transitions that people go through in life. And I was always very fascinated with that, you know? So when I started writing music, all that reading that I had done in jail since a little kid just helped me out a lot, you know?
Yeah, yeah, because you have a lot of what we call on this channel pain music. You're a pain rapper. Like
Yes, sir.
you putting your heart out there. You're making it vulnerable for the audience to understand what you're trying to articulate. Because I, I don't want to say the kids now because it's back in the days too. There's a lot of rappers who overdo it with the hardcore shit. Like they're made out of fucking steel and platinum, and they never you can't break them. And then you have rappers like a Bozo, or you have
Rod Wave, like a modern.
a
Yeah.
Tupac, Rod Wave.
Yeah.
We got Jordan McCants is a dude from the UK. I'll send you. I'm gonna send you a video. Hear this guy he talk about his pain about growing up in the jail system. Like that's rap to me. You know
Yeah, for
when
sure.
I hear a lot of the music now, and I kind of chuckle inside sometimes because these kids don't know what they're talking about. They don't
Yeah,
know shooting a gun really loud. You
You
don't
just
hear
wait.
yeah,
shit. You don't hear shit for 5 minutes. You know what I mean? They don't understand that, and I think the impact of hip hop is huge. But we don't have enough. I don't want to say we don't have enough rappers who are pain rappers who really
yeah.
make this so vulnerable, bro. We're all humans. I cut this shit out with the I'm Superman. I could beat up everybody. You know, it's
Yeah.
fascinating.
Yeah, well hip hop is in a very particular place right now because of YouTube, you know? So YouTube has made it accessible for the 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 people as the masses to determine what's in the algorithm. You feel what I'm saying? So you got to think to yourself, man. Us grown men and grown people, we don't really listen to music on YouTube. We're mostly on the apps. You know what I'm saying? It's Spotify,
Yep.
Hmm.
Apple Music. We see the artists that we like and we go there. You know what I'm saying? Well, YouTube is different. The little kids, children run that shit. The biggest views that get are like children that make reactions to other toys. And then after that, it's like it's rap for kids, the ignorant shit. You feel what I'm saying? So
Exactly.
so based on that need and based on that consumption of the music, that's what you're gonna see on the algorithm most likely. But there's rappers out there, man. Like I'm heavy on a lot of East Coast rapper, like West Side Gun. I fuck with Benny the Butcher. I've had the privilege to like be at every Benny show that he's had in LA for like the last 6 months, the
Oh
six
wow.
years. For the last six
Awesome.
years. Yeah, my cousin's from BSF. So I've had the luxury to be around some real rappers, Conway the Machine Gun,
Right,
shit.
right.
Fuck, a gang of these motherfuckers, man. Homie from Boston, what's the
Millie's.
uh no. Oh, no, not him. OT the real. OT the real comes out here.
Okay, okay.
So I be around all these New York cats when they come out. Like, I show them that Southside love. You feel what I'm saying? They tap in and we fuck with them so that their travels are welcoming. You feel what I'm saying? In the best
Hmm.
in a term, you know what I mean? The best way I could put it. You feel what I'm saying? But
Yeah, yeah.
but nah, but I love being. Look, listen, man. Do I get the views that a lot of these kids do? No, I don't. But you gotta understand, right? 200,000 views that a young artist gets is equivalent to me getting 20,000 views in a month
Right.
because my views are real. They're from the real consumers. These are people that will buy my merch, buy tickets to come see me. Like they'll download my actual album. You feel what I'm saying?
Yep.
Hmm.
And at the same time, I see my influence in the youngsters. You feel what I'm saying? Like I see my influence in the youngins. Like they need somebody to be out here with experience talking, man, out of love and some kind of intelligence. You feel what I'm saying? So do I seek fame no more? No, I seek more gratification and having influence in the youngins so that they have somewhat of a goal towards where they want to go in their older life. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yep.
I'm a dude that's done it all, man. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I obviously have a criminal history that's fucking long. Like, my reputation in my neighborhood is very solid. Like, there ain't a place in LA that I can't go and get love, and that's including Bloods and Crips neighborhoods. You know, so I think that it's important to show the flip side of this gangbanging shit because look, I'm not a gangbanger to where I'm out shooting motherfuckers no more. But I'm a gangbanger to where I love my brothers, you know what I'm saying? Like, if my little homies get caught up in some shit, like, I'm gonna be here for them, you know what I'm saying? If you're upstate doing a long time, I'm gonna help you with that commissary, you know? If your daughter's out here while you're away, I'm gonna buy her sneakers for her birthday. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I'm never gonna leave my community as far as that. You feel what I'm saying? But I think that it's good to have an elder spokesman of what you know what I'm saying? Like, to represent us.
It keeps everybody grounded. You need that ground. You know what I mean?
Yes,
You need
sir.
that
That's
ground,
what
that
you know.
foundation.
That humility is important, man. You know that humility is important. Like, being a gangster and a gentleman is very important. Like, showing these motherfuckers that having class gives you longevity. Look at my longevity. Like, dog, I went to prison 10 years my last term, and
Yeah, I
I
was gonna
came
ask you
back
about
and
that.
I got signed to 3 deals like since I've been out. You feel what I'm saying? So, um, but yeah, so yeah, you know, I like to be in somewhat of a positive example. You know.
Yeah.
And you're working a lot. You got a lot of music. You're dropping a lot of albums, and you really like you in the field.
Yeah. Well, my consistency is my best attribute. You know, I'm a workaholic, man. I look, man, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. You know, I suffer a lot from anxiety and a lot of shit going on in my head. You know, between the ears, like there's a lot going on. So I don't like to sit on my thoughts. My music is my best friend. It's my therapy. You feel what I'm saying? So I found a way to channel my energy to some profitable that benefits me and my family, you know?
That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. So for that
Yeah, it's
last term,
important.
yeah.
It's a beautiful thing.
It's important. It's important. I recommend that to everybody. I don't give a fuck how you do it. If you like putting puzzles together or working on cars, like you gotta do something, man, to allow you to live. You know, you got look, man, my best way I could put it like this, dog. Keep your innocence, man. Hold on to whatever little bit of your childhood and that innocence that you can. You know what I'm saying? Let that inner child still come out. Like, you know, be able to smile at shit that's just pure. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that there's too much going on in this world, man, for you not to hold on to some innocence, man. Like, if we let that go, then what's left? It's just a hard shell. You feel what I'm saying? It's just nothing but responsibility, nothing but stress. Like, to
You
let go of
only
your imagination is
it's so
horrible. You feel
you're so right, man. Because
You
I
say that
tell
all the
my
time.
kids, I had 3 kids, and I'm like,
You say that all the time. It's crazy.
yeah, I be joking on the channel for the people. I say I have 11 children. I don't. I have 3 kids, right? So
yeah,
I always tell, and I'm not 67 years old, but I'm 67 years old on the channel. I'm 67, so that's what everybody
yeah,
believes.
yeah.
You know, for the people who watch, I finally confess. But I always tell my children, don't rush to grow up,
Yeah,
man.
you always say
Be a
that.
kid. Be a kid because being a kid is a short window, and then the adulthood shit comes. All the adulting, the bills, like you said, the problems, the responsibility. When you're the breadwinner, you gotta you gotta put out so many fires. You know what I mean?
Man,
You gotta help so many people.
I've been the sole provider for my family since I got out of prison. You know,
Wow.
so
Yeah.
I pay every bill. You know, I take care of every problem. I mend every broken heart around this motherfucker. You feel what I'm saying? So, you know, yeah, man. So I get to live out, you know, my innocence through my music. You feel what I'm saying? I get to speak freely and express myself, you know?
Yeah. So you had your rap career started at 24. So what happens next? You go back to prison, right, for another 10 years?
So I get signed, I catch a good buzz. You know, I'm a little different than most Mexican rappers at the time in 2004, 2005. My style is very unorthodox, you know?
You
So I
signed to
catch a
you
buzz.
signed to. I'm so
Yeah,
sorry, I cut you off. You signed to Universal.
yeah, I was signed to Universal. Yeah, I was signed to Universal, and
Okay.
I had an independent distribution deal through Kosh Records also. Um, so you know, I'm doing my thing, man, and I got myself in a situation, man, where I jammed up somebody, you know, while carrying a firearm. and I went back to prison. You know, I went back to prison. I went up there with 18 years. Then it came down to 13 years because of laws that changed, and then another law came back in. The point system dropped, and they recalculated my time. So after 10 years, 2 months, they literally gave me like 30 days to be prepared to get out, and they let me out.
Wow. Wow. You were happy as hell, right?
Hell yeah, I was happy as hell, but I was lost, man. I was lost. Like you gotta understand. During those 10 years, my grandmama died, my daddy died, my brother-in-law died, and these were like people that. These are the voices that are in your house Sunday morning. You know what I'm saying? When you wake up as a youngster and grandma's watching the kids, you know, brother-in-law's fucking washing the car, you know, pops is fucking doing his thing. So I came home, there was a lot of people, and mind you, my other brother-in-law that raised me, he was still up doing 12 years, you know, for some shit that he did while I was incarcerated. So I was the only boy left in my household when I came home, you know what I'm saying? And I could tell, you feel me? Like the women in my household were shattered, you know, they were heartbroken, and really their need for a man is what got me right too. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of them guys, like, if something needs to be done, I'm gonna step the fuck up. You feel what I'm saying?
For sure.
Whether good or bad, if I love you, dog, and whether we need to go knock somebody off or go build some shit, I'm your guy. If you're my dog, let's get it done, you know?
Yeah.
So for the way my family, I really felt a need to step the fuck up and get my shit together, and I did, you know?
So how was that term for you? Like, was any crazy shit happen? Like, did you see bulldogs? You know, bulldogs introduced to that.
That term was insane. I went up to prison and I ended up in Centinela. Centinela is like one of our headquarters right here down south. It's close to San Diego. All the down south gangs are there. You know, it's predominantly like a Sureno ran prison. You know what I'm saying? And I pull up and I got like 4 of my homies from my hood with me. Damn, trip out on this. You guys are gonna catch some action right here live. Look.
Oh wow! They just stopped right by.
Well, they pull up. They pull up to my neighbors because my neighbor's crazy, man. Who knows what the bitch drag her ass out? Nah, real shit. Crazy lady.
She's a pain in the ass, or she's just psycho?
She's been fighting since fucking 5 a.m. in the morning, bro. So I don't know what the fuck she got going on. But anyways, yeah, I pull up to Centinela. I'll show you if they drag her ass out. Don't trip. So, hey, so I pull up to Centinela. I'm there with like 4 of my homies, all hitters. Every single dude there with me from my hood is he's a fucking Navy SEAL. You feel me? So I'm in a good place. You understand what I'm saying? But at the time, the laws in California were incarcerating everybody in any from anywhere for long stints of time. Like the laws were really heavy, you know what I'm saying? So the California prisons were overcrowded, dog. I mean, what were considered day rooms were now bunk areas to sleep. The gyms were now full of bunks. If they could fit a bunk there, it was going, you know what I'm saying? So the overcrowding really fucked us up, you know? And look at these fucking cops looking at my dog. I got big ass dogs, bro. Like dogs that way. Fucking my dog right now, I just took him to the doctor on Saturday. He's at 155 right now.
Oh shit.
What, you got mastiffs?
No, double XL bullies.
Okay.
So the fucking cops love to pull up and stare at my dogs. But anyways, yeah, they signed an executive order to start shipping inmates out of state. So California started renting prisons in other states, private prisons, owned by federal judges, mind you. So it's all hustle, right?
Wow.
Right. So I ended up I was in Centinela a couple years. Then I ended up in a prison called La Palma. And it kicked off with the cops because these were rookie cops, they never dealt with real Southsiders before. You feel me? So right away we bumped heads. The homie Spanky from Jokers in Montebello, which is my boy. Shout out to him. He fucking got into a staring match with this young Mexican cop. Mexican cop tried to bluff him with a shotgun, and the homie just fucking headbutted him and fucked him up. So we all jumped, everybody jumped, and then we all got bounced out to Red Rock. So we went to Red Rock, and then at Red Rock there was a power struggle. It kicked off too also there, and at that point they were like, "Oh, you motherfuckers want to play games?
Yeah.
You're going all the way to Mississippi." So I ended up in
Oh.
Mississippi, and I was in Mississippi for about 4 years and a half over there, and that was like a crazy experience because it was my first time really meeting Southern people.
Yeah. Culture
Southern women.
shock, right?
Yeah. But it was dope. It was dope. Southern people are, you know, it's a difference, man. Southern men are different. Southern women are different. That Southern hospitality is real. You feel what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
the respect, the way they carry themselves. So it was very friendly, and they had never seen dudes like me. They never seen Mexicans tatted from head to toe. You know, fucking with strict politics and routines and all that shit. So when they saw us, they were they had a more of a culture shock than us, but it was dope to say the least. I'll put it to you like this: I had the Xbox 360 in my cell. I had a touch cell phone. I walked around with grams of weed in my pocket every day, all day. If I didn't want to lock my cell door, I wouldn't even lock it. I have that bitch open all day. I used to have a big old Sony boombox. What it was, Sony Explode, fucking knocking. It was hood, man. Like we were just loving it. Us and the blacks and the whites, everybody was good. We were all getting along because it wasn't like Cali. The thing was this, dog, that in Cali, they got the gun tower. They got that guy up there with 2014. Out of state prisons, they didn't have those at all.
right.
So you could tell a cop, hey, man, you better get the fuck out of my face, dog, for I'll slap the shit out you. And they'll be
Oh
like,
shit.
hey, you all right? And they'll.
Yeah, I'm trying to go
And
home. Okay, I'm gonna go home.
yeah,
I'm about to
exactly.
get
To my
away.
family.
Yeah, so it was, it was different. I traveled, obviously, obviously I traveled a lot during those 10 years. And then yeah, man, then I came back home and it was, back to business, man. I called my lawyer. I was literally sitting in a holding tank in prison. It was October, and one of the young cops tells me, he's like, hey man, you're about to get some good news. And I'm like, what you talking about, bro? He's like, look at the laws they just passed in California. So I saw Prop 47 pop up and they started to describe it. And I was like, shit, I fall under that Prop 47. I had got a lot of added additional time due to prison prior terms and like little shit that they call enhancements in California law.
Yeah.
So my first action at a cell phone, I got a hold of my old lawyer and I was like, ma'am, like I need you to file for me to fucking get resentenced. And she was like, okay, all right, son. She goes, because she had told me, dog, when I lost my trial, I've been to trial twice, mind you. So this time I went to trial, she told me, go up there and keep your nose clean. She told me, don't kill nobody. Don't get caught with no drugs on you. You're not going to do all the time, she told me. I promise you that.
Oh wow.
So when I got a hold of her, I told her, you remember you told me you wouldn't let me do all that time? And she goes, I do, son. And I was like, well, it's time for you to get me out. So she goes, okay, I'm going to look into what you're saying. Call me back in 2 weeks. I had little bitches up there. So I had my little bitch call and she's like, hey, man, she said you have a date. You have a resentencing court date for this day, which literally is like, it was 2 weeks. I had my little bitch call, and then now 2 weeks after I have a resentencing.
Yeah.
So she goes, call me on this day. She's gonna tell me what your new sentence is. So dog, bullshit you not. I call those 30 days, and 3 days, she tells me, you're coming home immediately. I'm like, what? She goes, yeah, you're over.
Wow.
She goes, you're overdue. She goes, you already served more than enough time. She goes, as soon as your paperwork gets done, you're out of there. 72 hours later, I was out, dog.
Yo.
Woo-hoo. I know you was just looking into the sky like, yes.
Man, that shit hit me like crazy. Like it was a trip, bro. Honestly, like I didn't know. I was in shock. I didn't know if I was dreaming. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I had been staring at them walls for so long. Like I just couldn't believe it. It was like an out of body experience. I remember getting anxiety on the freeway because the cars were driving by me too fast, dog.
Yeah.
Wow, wow,
I
wow.
remember going shopping at the mall and being like, yo, get me the fuck out of here. There's too
Wow.
many people in this bitch. You feel what I'm saying? Like, can we get the food to go? I don't want to fucking be right here. You feel what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck? And then also like just being afraid of the cops, like not wanting to go back. You feel what I'm saying? Like, dog, what the fuck? They're gonna set me up, or I don't know. And you know what I'm saying? Just a lot of insecurities, man, mentally, because I had been around tension for so long.
Yeah.
That's the one thing about prison, man, that people never talk about. Like, there's a presence in prison that's constant, 24 hours a day, and it's tension, you know? When you're intuitive, you know, in prison, you tend to grow real intuitive to other people's energy because that's how you survive. You feel me?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And in prison, dog, what's always present and never leaves your side is the tension you feel, like the frustration of man and the anger and the bottled up emotion that's all around you, you know?
Yeah.
And the possibility of food. Trust me, bro, like it could go from real quiet in prison to real bloody in the second, dog. Like,
Yeah.
you won't even know. I've seen dudes, dog, get stabbed so many times, poked so many times that they voluntarily throw themselves into the barbed wire to get away, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've seen dudes get their skull smashed in by that big metal door, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've seen some shit, dog. I've seen men use other men as shields, you know, to survive. You feel what I'm saying? Like, prison is I seen a fucking Native American scalp a celly one time to where the shit was hanging off like a fucking
Mm.
like a ball cap twisted backwards. You feel what I'm saying?
Yo.
Like,
Wow.
it gets, you know, it's primal, bro. You know,
Yeah.
it's real primal, you know? Um, and that shit doesn't now look, listen, now I'm better, you feel me?
Good.
But I had put my and then we were doing the long lockdowns, dog. There was times where I wouldn't leave myself for 12, 13 months at a time.
Oh shit.
You know, not even to shower. We would bird bath in the cell because our politics wouldn't allow us to come out the cell in shower shoes. They consider that slipping, you feel me?
Yeah.
So, you know, I had got to a place mentally really fucked up where my boredom and my lack of, you know, purpose and like having to do something. I had already developed horrible habits. Like, I would sit and watch TV, bro, and I would count every word that would be spoken in a movie,
Mm.
Wow.
you know, until I exhausted my mind mentally and I would fall asleep or just, you know, drain myself. Like, I was doing 1,000 push-ups a day, bro, you know, which is like
Yeah.
fucking 3.5 hours, you know, straight, you know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like I had developed some fucked up. But another thing that I developed though that I don't, you know, is faith though too. You feel me? My relationship with God got real strong, you know, and you know, I acknowledge the fact that God doesn't want me to be a bitch. You know what I'm saying? He just wants me to be a man.
Mhm.
You feel me? He's not asking me to
Yeah.
be. He's not asking me to be a Bible thumper, dog, and preach to everybody, but he's asking me to, you know, to stay humble and acknowledge the hierarchy that it's him, it's me, then it's my family. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. For sure.
so I developed a lot of faith too, though. You know, I spoke to him a lot, like all day, every day in my head. Like, you know, some people say, you know, you gotta pretend to act crazy before you really go crazy in jail, and that's how I did it by talking to God all the time. You know,
Wow.
Yeah. So it's important. I think that, and that makes you the man that you are today. You don't waste any time. You're always on the grind. You're on a hustle. So that really those are formative. They say the formative years are like in your teens, but that formed you too. Sitting around and be like, yo, when I get out, I gotta get it right. I cannot mess this up.
hell yeah, and I've been getting it like a motherfucker. God's been good. God's been good to me. You feel me? Like
So
real shit. You know, but you know, I stand on principles though. I'm gonna tell you one thing about myself, right? I think that you know that men have certain boxes on the list they gotta check out, you know, in order to be the man that they want to be. You know what I'm saying? And I really take that serious. So I speak loyalty, I speak integrity, and I speak on virtues and shit. So I don't shortcut none of that shit. Meaning like I'm loyal to the streets, the rules in the streets. I'm loyal to my wife. I'm loyal to my family. I'm loyal to God. Like, I'm not gonna burn you for a nickel, dog, and try to say that I'm solid. You feel me? Like, I'm not the type of dude to be in the DMs, getting at thirst traps and paying in real life, taking family pictures. You feel what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
Right,
I
right,
think that
right.
what you do in the dark, homie, comes out to light. You know what I'm saying? So I don't do no sucker shit behind closed doors. Like, I keep it 100%. Am I flawed still? Yes, I'm not a perfect man. Trust me. I do a lot of shit still that I'm not proud of, and I mean like little shit like anger. You know what I'm saying? Like thinking about knocking motherfuckers off for stupid reasons. You feel what I'm saying? Out of pride, out of ego. You feel me? But when it comes to loyalty and when it comes to like fearing God, I keep that in mind because God's put me through the ringer, and I know that He could put me through worse. You feel me? So I've learned to humble myself and bow down. You feel what I'm saying? As I should to certain things. You feel what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah, and that's important. So you do those 10 years, and you come out, and then you right away you sign another deal. That's that when you got with high, you were with a label High Power or something like that.
Yeah. So when I got out, I rekindled my old record deal, right? And they had offered me to help me and shit, but the music industry was just in a different place. It was digital. It was no longer, print and release. You know what I'm saying? So I tried to go back to my old label. It wasn't working out. Their vision wasn't my vision. They weren't on the level of music and creativity where I wanted to be at. So what I did was I went independent. You know what I'm saying? I went independent and I just released a barrage of like singles where I was just like, you know, basically let my nuts hang, man. Like I'm the realest motherfucker out and fuck everybody. You feel me? I really disrespected a lot of rappers. I bullied a lot of rappers openly, you know, that I felt were my competition that I felt at the time were saturating the game. You feel what I'm saying? We're false flagging, you know? Um, so I did my thing, man, and right away I got a crazy reaction from the streets, and then I got offered another deal through an independent label called Fan First. Fan First did some of the biggest moves for me that at that time I could do. You know, like I did some of my biggest records with like the biggest talent at the time in LA. You know, like I worked with G Perico, RJ, Joe Moses, Compton AD. Who else did I work with at the time? King Lil G.
Okay.
So the label really funded me, and it was a beautiful thing. Dog, put you like this, like it was perfect. Like if I wanted something, I told the CEO, and the CEO was like, "Run it."
Yeah.
You know,
Right, right,
so I
right.
never got denied shit. I never got turned down on shit. I was always good for the re-up. So I was a sure investment. The label knew that I was a hard worker. This fool don't fuck around. He shows up, knocks out projects. I knocked out like 5 albums with them like in a couple years, you know. So yeah. So I did that, and then after that deal, I pretty much had enough money to be my own machine and my own label. So I did that independently again for a while, and I did some more big moves. And right when I thought I was gonna walk away from music, I got offered the OTR situation. You feel me?
Wow.
and and that really has rejuvenated me musically again because I'm with the top talent now in LA as far as youth, and
Yep.
these youngins love me and I love them. You feel me? And it's like it's big brother little brother type love. You feel what I'm saying? And it's dope. It's dope to be in the mix now with these young dudes that are like the face of the movement right now.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Because you
feel
see,
I feel privileged, motherfucker.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, you're essentially you're a legend if you're able to navigate it. You're talking about what you've been you started rapping when, like in the early 2000s.
Yeah, early 2000, yeah, 2004.
2004. So you're like 20 years. Who's rapping 20 years? Like who's your contemporaries that are doing that? Like it's
Nah,
not that
everybody fell
many.
off. Everybody fell off.
Absolutely. That's
Up.
like a
Yeah,
lot of people give Fat Joe a lot of hard time here about different things. But the guy been rapping since I was like a teenager, like a kid, and I'm like, he's still around.
yeah.
He's
Hell
still
yeah, I
around.
feel it.
So and you're in that category. Like you're rapping 20 years, bro. Like nobody's doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah,
saw you like so you're not you signed with OTDR,
Soulless.
what's
OTR Soulless, right?
OTR Soulless, and
yeah.
then you
That's
that's
my
how
brother.
you end up connecting with Lefty Gunplay
Yeah.
through that.
Well, honestly, Me and Lefty's relationship is on some street shit.
Okay.
Before the music shit, I really fuck with his homeboys, and he was fucking with some of my homegirls. So we were gonna, that was gonna happen regardless. Me and Lefty, we're from like the same area, pretty much. You know what I mean? We're like neighbors and shit. But yeah, the music is what. And he was up in Pelican Bay with like all my younger homeboys that are like up there, never getting out. These are guys that kill guys out here and then kill guys in there. So these are guys that are real hitters and shit, and they love him. So before he came home, I got phone calls like, "Hey, the homie's about to touch down. Fuck with him." And I was like, "All right, bet." And then he was fucking some of my homegirls, and I would hear my homegirls, "Hey, oh boy," and all right, bet. And then his homies were like, "Hey, the home," you know what I'm saying? So me and him had been communicating before we started making music together. Because see, I'm not one of them guys, dog, that exploits the homies. You feel me?
Right.
Like I'd rather have an organic connection with you before it's all about music. I don't want to be that guy. You feel what I'm saying? So, but damn, his blow up was fast.
Yeah.
So yeah. So we had a situation link up. We linked up, and then ever since then, me and him are like, we're family. You feel what I'm saying? I really hold Lefty close to my heart. Like he's the homie, man. You know what I'm saying? I want nothing but the best for him. At all times.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I want to speak on like the positive moment you guys did about the street vendor that got robbed on TikTok Live. Can you speak on that?
Yeah, we do that shit here and there, man. Like I've been known to do that with like the Hood Santa.
Yeah.
I've done it before with my charity, God's Pantry out of Pomona. I've done it with Lefty. Like if I see certain situations, man. See, there's a thing, okay? Like I feel like Cali is a very particular place, dog. Where a lot of Mexicans, with a lot of blacks and other ethnicities, and due to the gang influence in the streets, certain things can really get manipulated into like almost like race baiting. You feel what I'm saying? Like something could happen just because of circumstance and environment, and right away because of the animosity and the history in the streets, people turn it quick into like some racial shit.
Yeah, it spills over. Yeah.
So what I like to do when I see those certain circumstances, I just like to nip it in the butt. Boom. What I'll do is I'll reach out to my community and my following, collect some money. I'll pull up, and while I'm doing that, I'll deliver the message of like, look, man, it's not even about race, man. This is just the world we live in, dog. Anybody's gonna get. You feel what I'm saying? Nobody's out here targeting people. Like broke people aren't a broke person isn't strategic. They're just desperate.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? If they were strategic, they wouldn't be broke to begin with. You feel what I'm saying? So broke people are just strategic, are just desperate, bro. You feel what I'm saying? So, like I just like to shed some wisdom on things when I can. You feel what I'm saying? And I've been blessed with money, so when we can do it, when God permits, then do it. You feel what I'm saying? So I like to do my part, man. I've done a lot of fucked up shit. So, like I said, my history is a lot of robberies. So I've done some fucked up shit that I got making up to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. Can you speak on speaking of the street vendors, can you speak on the Sucker Free 104 Call It How I See It song? How do you feel about that song? Are you familiar with that?
Yeah, well, that's my homie. If you look back on his
peace,
history, I'm one of his like first biggest features that he had.
Yep.
I met him right away. I know his neighborhood's history. See, I'm one of them guys, dog. Like I'm a fan of gangbanging. You feel me? It's weird, right? Like how people are fans of the NBA or football. Like, who started the franchise? I just find it real interesting neighborhood history. You feel what I'm saying? So I know his history from where he's from. I've done time with a gang of his homies. So out of respect, like I reached out to him quick, and I know the dynamic that they got going on in their city. I can't speak up. Well, what I'm saying is I can't judge their train of thought. You feel me? LA's so big, dog. You could go to one city where blacks and browns are getting along, and you go to the next block and it's war. You feel what I'm saying? So he was just, when he dropped that record, man, he was a young guy that didn't give a fuck about a rap career. He was just like on some hood shit, like banging his hood, talking his shit. And I can relate to that. You know what I'm saying? You gotta understand, man, they kill each other.
Yeah.
They've been doing it for a long time. So the animosity is gonna be that way. That's just normal where they're from, So I mean, is it something that I would do and recommend somebody to do? No,
Yeah.
but I get it. You feel me? I get it. I can only tell you my experience. You feel me? I can't really speak up on other people's. I think that that's not my place, you know. But man, he was a good dude, man.
Yeah.
Honestly, like in real life, he fucked with blacks, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like he worked with a lot of blacks in behind the scenes of studios. He wasn't an openly racist guy.
Okay.
He was just gang banging. You feel what I'm
Right.
saying? If you were from those gangs, you know what I mean, then you were gonna get it. You feel what I'm saying? Like that's
Right,
just
right,
what it
right,
is.
right.
He was a good dude, man, and he had made it out, man. He just couldn't let go, you know. He
Yeah.
just couldn't let go of the streets, man. And unfortunately, you know, there's a small margin of error around this motherfucker. You know, you got to know. That's what I tell the homies, man. Get the fuck gone, dog. Like just go, man. You
Yeah.
know, create the necessary space you need from your enemies. You know.
Yeah. We know that you don't agree with the N word. Can you like elaborate on that? Like why you don't agree with Mexicans saying the N word?
I have respect. You know, I haven't. I don't have the right to call a black man that. You feel what I'm saying? I respect their culture. I respect the word, dog. You feel me? It's like carnal. Like if I call you my carnal, like a lot of motherfuckers can't tell you that. You feel what I'm saying? You know, it's there's look, man. To me, it's like this, bro. Like the black culture has certain things that it has inherited. You know, hip hop being one of them, and the N word being another one. You feel what I'm saying? To me, those are their those are their generational wealth that they pass down. For other cultures to come and try to take it just because of a trend or because they think it's cool is wrong. You feel what I'm
Right.
saying? It's
Right,
exploitation.
right,
You
right, right, right.
like you if you really love somebody, dog, and respect them, you don't take advantage of them, bro.
Yeah.
So to me, that's taking advantage. That's just me as a man. You feel me? I mean, to each his own. Motherfuckers tend to take shit lightly. I don't. You know what I mean? I
Yeah,
try
and
to.
I get it. We got a lot, but I'll get into the whole race thing. There's a lot of people who say, "Oh, I said it with a GA, or I said it with the hard R." No, you should not be saying it. You should not be saying it like when you. It makes me want to smack somebody, right? Because you're trying to justify something that doesn't make no sense. Because now you're trying to make technically you're trying to be right about what you know deep down inside is wrong.
Well, it's
And
fake love, dog. It's fake love. You know,
yeah,
fake love. Best way I could describe it. It's just fake love, and it's corny as fuck. To be honest with you, dog.
right,
You
right.
know,
I respect that.
that's just me though. That's just me though. You know, like I got it, man. I got black homies that fuck years, decades. You know, and I just don't. You know what I'm saying? I just don't. I just don't. I don't know.
Yeah.
Out of respect, I said, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. I know you spoke on before that the Chicano culture always comes back around, right? How do you feel
Yeah.
about Mexicans with the urban culture nowadays and like maybe not dressing or rapping like them, but they're developing and they're adapting to the urban culture. Like what's viral at the moment? Like what's everybody's attracted to? If that makes sense.
Yeah, I think it's just the evolution of like all this digital influence, you know, like all this, you know, this social media. Like, look, man, we're going through a renaissance right now, like a Hispanic renaissance. You feel me?
You really
It's a
are.
very interesting time in history for dudes like me that were at the bottom of it. You know, like I've been trying to build this wall, this foundation for a long time, brick by brick. You feel me? So for me, like, you know, there's certain things I don't like, but at the same time, I have an understanding that not everything's gonna go my way.
Mm,
You know what I mean? Sometimes, you know, when you want to eat, don't complain about how much is on your plate. You feel me? Like
yeah.
to me, it's part of the territory, dog. It's gonna come with it, and I'm with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm all for it. Um, I just think that at some point, you know, it has to be us. As long as it's us, benefiting from it, fuck it. You feel what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like everybody eat. You feel what I mean? Um, see, like hip hop, right? You know, a lot of people will be like, that's our culture. We own it. And listen, in hindsight, yes. But when it comes down to black and white on paper, you don't own it.
Exactly. I agree with that.
And that's where I don't want us to head. I don't want us to go down that road. Just like the N word. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like,
Hmm.
you know what I'm saying? It's a thin line, dog, between love and being taken advantage of. You feel what I'm saying? So that's just what I care about. I mean, can I stop it from happening? Maybe not. But I'm gonna speak on it and give awareness. I think there's a lot that we can learn from hip hop and the black culture as far as that exploitation. You feel me?
Yeah, there is a chronic like cancer in the hip hop community where these kids are being taken advantage of, where they're like 16, 17, and they're impoverished, and they're getting like 5,000, 10,000 bucks, and they're signing their life away because yo, I'm signing to a bullshit deal, and they're trapped, and you see it
Yes,
over
sir.
and over. So, because I heard you, I watched the interview. I apologize to the person that was interviewing you because I didn't really. I was listening to it while I was doing the yard work and stuff. And you talk about getting your admin straight, like all your administration, getting all your paperwork right to get paid. When you reference Little King G helped you kind of like put you on to like different ways of the revenue streams and stuff. Can you like
Hell yeah,
touch on that a little bit?
you gotta create. Well, you gotta create your identity. Once you create an identity, you gotta get an IP, intellectual property rights for all you, everything that is you. You know what I mean? Publishing, all your administration has to be right so that you're able to generate. You're able to squeeze this lemon dry, dog. You want to be able, because look, man. The more little piggy banks you have, even if they're small, together they add up. And
Absolutely.
especially as an independent artist, and when you're coming from the bottom, that matters. The big record labels and the big machines are important at one point. Once you want to go nationwide, but just like managers, you don't need them, dog, until you're getting booked fucking nationwide, dog. If you're still a local rapper, keep the money in your pocket. Keep that 10% you're gonna give the promoters, and not the promoters, but the managers and all that shit, to yourself. Like, it's very important for you to do the research on every which way that you can maintain ownership of yourself and your identity, um you want to be your own entity, you know what I'm saying, as long as you can, you know what I'm saying. So if things do ever take off, or let's say, God forbid, you're one of them artists that gets famous when they're dead, you want to make sure that your family inherits that shit. Chalino Sanchez, we got certain artists like
Mm-hmm.
shit, Big L. You guys were talking about Big L. Like, these are guys that blew up more dead, you feel what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
so God forbid that happens. You want to have all your boxes squared off, but yeah, but that, that's why we here, right? To put people up on that game and at least plant that seed. Like, King Lil G was the first one that was like, "Yo, you got to get your administration right. You got to get your admin right." So I've been able to do deals, dog, independently. That, like, there. See, the game is so wide and big now, dog. You don't only have to do deals with record labels. Now you could do you could do deals with investment firms.
Yeah.
I've done
Mm-hmm.
deals with investment firms that got nothing to do with music.
Wow.
They just want to see analytics, what you're generating, what your gross is, and we go from there. You feel me? Like, I've done
Yeah.
6-figure deals, shit, easily on my own without needing nobody but myself. Like,
Yeah.
independently building on my catalog, and just being able to benefit from it, just all the hard work. Like, fuck it, man. Let's do this shit independently. So it's very important for you to put yourself in a position for longevity, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And the end game.
I agree.
But
Yeah.
but rap now is just your calling card, man.
Yeah.
Rap now should only be the way that you promote yourself. You know what I'm saying? You got to
Right.
see it as one aspect of your business. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
No, I agree with that. So recently we interviewed a Fresno Bulldog. His name is Vinny Talk to You. Um, he he said this. I'll say a quote. He called Sureños basically J-Cats and Norteños try too hard. Oh yeah, on this clip we interviewed him. How do you feel about that? What can you speak about that? He's a Fresno
Ooh,
Bulldog.
you getting dirty? Damn.
Shit, that sounds like a lot of animosity. You feel me? Like,
Yeah,
the homies did some shit to him. You know what I'm saying? You gotta understand, man. Hate comes with merit. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? When people get to you like that, it's for a reason, dog. He didn't
yeah,
wake up hating the homies. Like, where they're from, man, it's ghetto. Fresno's hood as fuck. Like, that's one of the cities that people, I hear Oakland and all this shit, but Fresno that's the slums, bro. You feel me? So, hey, man, shit, fucking, it's warranted. That. But let me tell you something, man. Just to yeah, to paint a perspective of you. All right. So
yeah,
look, man. Southsiders are the LA Lakers, you know? Up
Yeah.
north, Golden State Warriors, man. And when we talk about the Fresno Bulldogs, they're like what's that fucking that basketball team that old boy had in that movie, the Tropical Thunder, whatever the fuck it
Tropical
is.
Thunder, yeah.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
You know, not that Tropic Thunder. I forgot what it is, but they're even worse than the Clippers. You feel me? They're the G League. You feel what I'm saying?
Okay.
They're the G League. So I mean, I get it. You know, there's levels to this shit, man. You know what I mean? But the hate is warranted, man. It's forever. You know.
Yeah. So do you think Norteños could ever become mainstream, like down south?
I mean, I don't doubt nothing, brother.
Yeah.
Honestly, shit. I've seen things happen. I've seen a rat, fucking documented rat, be the biggest rapper in the game for a while. So
Yeah,
I'm
for
not
sure.
surprised at nothing. You feel what I'm saying? Anything's possible these days, you know? This shit is wide open, man. This is a big pussy waiting to get fucked at any moment, you know?
Yeah. I want to ask you something because I know you got a bunch of questions, but because I want to go back to Lefty Gunplay real quick. You guys did a song together, right? And I that song was kind of hard. I was like, this. Do you find yourself to be more? Because you also when you did Ride Through the City with King Lil G, when you do those songs, do you step your pen game up a little bit more because you have someone else kind of you're bouncing, or have you ever like wrote something like, nah, I gotta write something better when you hear the other person's verse? Because I always find that songs are better when you have really two good artists. Cause do you find yourself more competitive?
Well, it's encouraging, right? Like when you work with artists that are bigger than you, it's almost like them telling you that they believe in you. You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't take that lightly. If you believe in me, dog, I'm gonna show and prove. You feel what I'm saying? I'm not gonna let you down. You feel what I'm saying? Like to me, those alley-oops that people throw you are earned. You feel what I'm saying? And that's when you really got to step up. Like, so what I'm saying is this, right? Let's say your son tells you, "Hey, pops, can you get me hired on your job?"
Mm.
And you're like, "Yeah, I'm gonna bring you on, fool, but you gotta understand, you're gonna have to work harder than everybody else because you my son."
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? That's the way I see it. Is like if they're vouching for me, I can't let them down. You feel what I'm saying? So it does pick up my penmanship. Hell yeah.
Yeah, and y'all did y'all for the King Lil G song? Did y'all shut down that right there by the Staples Center? Y'all shut that street
Hell
down
yeah.
for
That
that?
costs a lot of money to shut down that street.
I was thinking that shit. I'm watching. I'm like, yo, these motherfuckers shut that shit down. It was just two cars. They were like whipping it across like that, and I
Yeah,
was like, yo,
hell yeah.
they gotta get permits for that. Yo,
Yeah.
you ain't just shutting that shit down. Wow.
Hell yeah, we shut that bitch down. That's a legendary single for me, you know? That's one of my most proudest songs that I have. I think that
Well, you
that's
guys
that feel
killed it.
good.
You got
Yeah,
it
that's
was
hip
feel
hop. That's
good.
hip hop. That's
Yeah,
hip
that was
hop.
hip
You feel
hop.
what I'm saying? So
And,
so
and
it's good to do that.
and I want to say like I don't know how to say this. Maybe I'm not gonna say it right because I'm Dominican, right? I grew up in New York City, and I've been listening to hip hop my whole life. And I've been introduced. I've been listening to hip hop since 1979. Sugar Hill Gang. I'm sure you're familiar. But it's so much talent in California.
Yeah.
It's so, and I know that there's a lot of politics. This guy's from this
Hood.
set, this set. Even within the one side, there's groups. There's so many good rappers, and I'm like a kid in a fucking candy store. It, I just listening to rappers, and I'm like, yo, because there's dudes that are not good, right? Because you have more rappers than fans. That's what I like to say.
Yeah.
There's more rappers than fans. Everybody want to be a rapper, but there's some artists that could spit. And I listen when he told me about. I wasn't as familiar with your music, perfectly honest. But when he told me we're gonna interview, and he's like, "Yo, do your homework, because this guy is a real one. Like he's been around forever." And I'm listening. I'm like, "Yo, like I wouldn't even say you're from California if I didn't know. I
Yeah.
wouldn't know where you're from.
Yeah.
You just rapping.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah,
what I'm
thank you,
saying?
man. I appreciate it. I love this shit, you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
And
bad,
yeah,
bad.
man, it's my heart, it's my heart at the end of the
Would,
day.
yeah. Would you say that West Coast rappers? Why is there so much trouble for West Coast rappers to leave that region of just like Arizona, Colorado, Utah, Washington, California?
I don't think it's I just think, dog, like nowadays, man, everybody's rooting for their homegrown talent, you know what I'm saying? I think that it's one of the things now where like the music has gotten so big with YouTube and the digital access that everybody has, man, that people want to gravitate to who they got in the backyard. Like people are rooting for hometown talent now. You know what I'm saying? It's not because before you it would be hard for you to find even local rappers that were talented just because of the lack of access, you know?
Yeah.
Now you can access your own people in your own area, in your own vicinity. So, like, you know, right here in LA, like, shit, man, we, like your dad said, we got so much talent. Like, it's hard to keep up, bro. You feel
It's a
me?
lot of talent, man, and
I
it's
really got to make an effort. I got to make an effort to tap in, like, with
Yeah.
Texas and then Baltimore and then Philly and the East Coast, you know, New York, like Buffalo and up, man, like, it's
that's a
almost like
lot.
a job,
That's a
dog.
lot of
Yeah.
it's a lot of work because well, just for the history of hip hop, it's always been regional. Like hip hop's always been regional. You've always had regional rappers, and then you had the guys who signed to majors. Like let's say like a Far Side, right? Yeah, we listen to
Yeah,
Far Side in New York because they were signed to some major label, whatever that was, which was probably I don't know.
Columbia or some shit.
Yeah, it was a big label. So
Yeah.
and I learned that because I worked at Columbia. I did an internship at Columbia Records for a year, so I got to see how the record industry works.
Yeah.
And when you have, like for example, I promoted Mariah Carey's album. They were giving out the
yeah,
album for free to the record stores and telling them to sell it for 99 cents. That's why her album is shipped platinum.
yeah,
I called every radio station in the United States, all 1,100 of them, me. You know what I mean? Single handed. And I didn't get paid to do it. It was an internship. I was hoping to get put on. Nobody put me on, but that's a whole nother story. But I was a
yeah. I feel
kid.
it. That's what I think, man. I just think it's too much access, man. It's hard to keep up, man. Like, fuck, you know? I remember when I was a kid, man, like, when you found an artist, a new artist, it was like finding a jewel, man. You would really get invested, you know?
Yeah,
You'd be
yeah,
like,
100%.
fuck, like, man, yeah, dog. It was rare, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't like now, like, now you're flooded, man. On social media, fools are dropping their videos in your DM. You don't even know
Yeah.
who the fuck they are.
Exactly.
There's a lot of throwaway music. That's what I call it. There's a lot of throwaway music, you know?
Yeah.
Well,
So
that's gonna happen. That's gonna happen, right? With this much access, you know, with
yeah,
this
for
much
sure.
freedom, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'll be
So,
disappointed in a lot of shit, but you know,
so
there's talent out here. Like,
before we continue, Bozo, I just want to know you got a little bit more time because we got more questions. We don't want to take up too much of your
no,
time.
I got time. I got time. I'm good. I'm good.
Okay.
Okay, okay.
All right. So you have a good question here. So why do you think the Raza sticks together so much, especially down south? Like you guys stick together and promote each other, even like just the fans, right? Like regular just fans. Why does the Raza support each other so much? We don't see that on the East Coast.
I think that we've just trial and error. You feel what I'm saying? I think that in the past, like the era that I came from, originally came from, there was a lot of fucking gatekeeping, you know. And I think that the trial and error, we've seen that like that's not productive. You feel what I'm saying? Nobody's helping each other like that. And another thing is that these young cats, you know, they're just more open to because social media and all that makes you more open to like fucking with people. You feel me? Interacting.
That's a good
Before,
point.
dog, it was your block. When we were young, it was your block, and if you ain't from the block, fuck you.
Yeah.
So they're growing up in a different atmosphere, bro. So I think that that's another reason why they're so open to do it because or we're doing it as a unit because it's just a different time of day. You feel what I'm saying? So I think, listen, I love it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be real with you. I love it because I'm one of the only G homies that the youngsters fuck with.
You think so?
You know what
No,
I'm saying?
yeah, yeah, for sure. And I know you got songs with Bloods, you got songs with Crips. Like
Hell yeah, I got
that's something
some.
that would have happened a long time ago. That would not happen.
Hell nah, like a motherfucker, man. Back, man. But that's the beautiful thing, right? Like music or erase a lot of boundaries. You feel what I'm saying? Just like sports, you know, same
Yeah.
shit. Like people come together for the music, just like they do for sports. So I think it's dope. I fuck with it. You know, I think that is good for the culture. You know.
Yeah. So you speak to how you're so loved. There's a person who's so hated in your city also. He goes by the name of Swifty Blue. Why do you think he's so hated in that area? We're not too familiar, but we know the letter to my ops. How do you feel about that whole like just dissing his own people? I would say.
Well, I mean, look, dog. There's one thing to be there's one thing to be confident, and there's another thing to be arrogant. You know what I'm saying? Arrogance can only get you so far. Arrogance will get you the attention that you desire, but it doesn't cultivate respect.
Yep.
And you got to understand, in our culture, if you're our culture specifically, right, Latinos, right?
Mhm.
If you ain't about it, dog, really about it, they're gonna expose you, bro.
Yeah.
That's just the way that we are as Latinos. We're real heavy on being about what you talking about. You feel what I'm saying? So once that's exposed about you, it's a wrap, dog. You feel what I'm saying? Like we love Chalino to this day because he died in a real way.
Yep.
Tupac to us is fucking, he's a rap god to us
Yeah.
because of his history and who he was. 50 Cent, we love the realness. You feel what I'm saying? We're not the type of culture that overlooks fake shit just for the purpose of entertainment. You know, we want to love our athletes. Who loves who loves Kobe Bryant more than a fucking Mexican dude from LA?
Right,
You
right,
know,
right.
Mike Tyson. These are guys that, whether they're perfect or not, we just want the realism. That's just who we are as a culture, dog. You feel what I'm saying? So, um, this is the wrong culture to try and fucking, you know, fake it till you make it. More
Okay.
in a better word sense, you know?
Okay.
Yeah, that's a great point. That's a great point. And we have a lot of people who are faking it to make it.
Yeah,
Like,
hell yeah.
like,
Yeah, it don't
like,
work around here. You know,
like you
that's just
referenced
where it is.
earlier. You referenced it earlier. The biggest rapper at one point was a rat. Was a known rat.
Absolutely.
The biggest rapper, which was
Absolutely.
pretty good rapper at one point. I was like, oh, all right, he got something with him. And then it just when the story started coming out, I'm like,
And
what
everybody
the?
and everybody was fucking with him at the time, biggest artists in hip hop and all that shit, you know, because they were just looking at the numbers. It wasn't
Yeah.
about integrity. You feel me?
Yeah.
And look at how that hurt the game. Man, look, the way that 6ix9ine hurt hip hop, it should be documented. You feel
Yeah.
me? He took a lot away from the authenticity of it, you know? He exposed how fake this shit can be. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
And
Yeah. And I feel like
and I
nobody
think it's
talks about
sad.
this either. Yeah. My fault to cut you off. I feel like nobody talks about this. You think like was it a struggle for Mexican rappers after that or not really?
Nah, he didn't affect us whatsoever.
I
Yeah.
don't
Nah,
think
because
so.
he never represented us. He was always
Yeah.
saying he was a blood.
Yeah.
He
That
was
is true.
he was
Yeah.
he was with them. You feel me? He was never one of us. He never put on for us.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like we got big rappers now. We got OGZ, we got, you know, Mexican OT, we got
Yep.
King Lil G still, Lefty, Peso, like Bravo the Back Chaser, fuck,
Yep.
Devour. We got
Yep.
so many big artists right now. D Baby, fuck, I hate to leave people off because
Facts.
people take it as disrespect, um, but yeah, we got a bunch of artists to be proud of, man. Like, and these are all dudes that are, you know, they're hometown heroes. You feel me?
Yep.
Hometown heroes, and they're gonna eat. See that hometown hero shit creates longevity, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
feel me? That organic, real following and love. That shit. Look. I'll give you a prime example. Look at Tech 9.
Yeah.
Mm.
That fool's a legend where he's from. That fool tours the country. Look at our homegrown heroes like Psycho Realm. Are you up on them, pops?
On Psycho Realm? No, no, no.
I'm gonna put. Listen, man.
You gonna put me on?
Yes, sir. Go fuck with them. You gonna
I
see what I'm
will.
talking about. From
I will.
from their videos to their biggest albums. Yeah, like hometown heroes. You feel me? Like, um,
And I
realness will last.
apologize. And I apologize to them for not knowing about them. It's just hip hop is so big, right? It's so many layers to it, man. Like you said
Oh
earlier,
yeah.
like it's so many layers. Like even like obviously, I love Cypress Hill, right? Cypress Hill. You know, they're probably the biggest group, right?
The
But
Beatles,
then
man. They're like the Beatles.
yeah, man, like they're huge. And I've been trying to get my
Huge.
son to listen you know what I'm saying? He listens to it for like 10 minutes, then he walk out the room, and I'm like, insane and a member. And that's what
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
yelling
yeah.
at him. You know what I'm saying?
Feel
But
it.
no, yeah, but I I'm a hip hop historian, bro.
Yeah.
So when you ask me, do I know about them, and I say no,
Yeah.
it hurts me to say no
No, for
because
sure.
I should
Yeah.
know about them. what I'm saying? And for me, so now I run home, and then that's all I'll listen to tomorrow. Everywhere I go, I'll just go through all the catalog.
Yeah, for sure.
You know.
Yeah, I got a really good question too. How do you feel about Cain Velasquez? You know, he's a famous UFC fighter. How do you feel about this situation? You think he's gonna run with the Norteños, or because he's from Salinas, right?
Yeah, he's in row with the Northsiders as he should.
Oh,
I
that's
mean, why
that's
wouldn't he?
confirmed, right?
As he should. I mean, I don't know if he is. Listen,
Yeah,
I don't know. I haven't, inquired, but I don't see why he wouldn't, bro. I mean, why not?
Right.
You know that I'm sure. Come on, bro. You think he don't have cousins and tios that are from there?
yeah,
Like his bloodline's there, bro. Like
yeah,
automatic. You know what I'm saying? Like that's, and he should. You know what I mean? I mean, he'd be wrong not to. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. You think he can't run alone because he's a UFC fighter?
You say what? Say it again.
I said, you think he can't run alone because he's a UFC fighter?
I mean, I'm sure he could. Um, I don't know his situation, like what points, what level yard he's on. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Like
But
how long will he last? Like if he be like I'm gonna just fight everybody. He can't beat everybody else.
100 gorillas versus
oh
one man.
no, well, listen, dog. It don't depending where you land. It don't matter if you're a UFC fighter or not. Like you got people walking around with bone crushers. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like
No, no, yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I mean.
So
So, but I'm sure he'll be all right, man. Regardless what he decides to do, you know what I mean. But
absolutely, he will be. You know what I'm saying? But it'll be tough. It'll be tough because people just gonna keep coming. He's in a place where people are just gonna keep coming. So it's not like he beat up two people and
oh
everybody go
man,
back.
that man's a beast, though, man.
He's an absolute animal. He is. You
He's
know what
a
I'm saying?
beast. That dude right there, man. Like shit.
You know, and he went to
Not
jail.
no.
You know the story. He went to jail, and the reason why,
yeah.
and it was he did
Justified.
he did what he had to do, man. And that's just the bottom line. He just had to do that.
Look, man. I'm a father, of daughters and shit. I got 3 daughters, man. And even when my little girl comes home after a rough day at school and her eyes are watery, telling me that a little boy was mean to her or another little girl, man, that shit hurts me, dog. So I can only imagine what this man felt and he's still feeling. You feel what I'm saying? Like, as a man, your sole purpose is to protect. You feel me? And if you fail the people that you love the most, dog, it'll eat you up inside, bro. Like that's it's like somebody putting a curse on you, dog. You don't
For
let
sure.
that go, you don't forget that. You know what I mean? So I respect that what he did, and I wouldn't have gave him no time. You know what I'm
Yeah, for
saying?
sure.
Oh yeah, if I was on the jury, he would have been not guilty
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
You know. But so what that I have here your last project that you dropped. What's the last album that you dropped? Is that the Necessary Evil?
Nah, it's lifetime membership. I just dropped it
Lifetime
like
membership.
5 to 6 weeks ago.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
through OTR.
How many albums you dropped overall in your career?
Oh man. I would have to look at my phone. I don't like to keep track, man, because fuck.
I couldn't keep track. I kept looking up, and I got
I
here.
want to say, I
Um,
want to say that I'm probably since I've been out of prison, which is when I dropped I only dropped one album before prison, and that
Pre-COVID.
dropped 2 years while I was in prison. But I want to say I'm like at 15 right now or something like
Oh
that.
shit. Damn.
yeah. Because I was looking. You got mad albums, like a lot. It was like Necessary Evil, South Side, what you dropped now, Goon Ties. It was just a lot. I'm like, wow, this doesn't end. Like you have quite the catalog.
I
But
got that OCD, man. I got that OCD. Like I'm, if I don't finish something, it irks the fuck out of me. Like,
Yeah.
and then I'm very blessed. The studio's a mile and a half away from my house, so
yeah,
it's love.
and you could get nasty with it because when you drop your diss track, the Grinch mode, I was like, wow, you're not holding back, huh?
Oh yeah. I'm good at talking shit, man. That's you grow up that way, right? When you grow
Yeah,
up in
yeah.
the system and you grow up around Salvadorians and Mexicans, like that's love language. Talking shit is
Yeah.
love language, man.
For sure.
Yeah, so let the people know like what's either your new singles out or what's coming out, and let them know where they can find you
Wait, I have a good question though.
You have a question?
I have two more good questions I have to ask Bozo
Right,
for
cool,
sure.
cool.
Come on.
OG, right?
Come on.
So you don't care. You said that you don't care about the demographic of the North. Do you still stand on that? I knew you said that in an interview like 11 months ago.
Hell yeah, I stand on that shit. I mean, it is what it is, bro. I mean, their market's not big enough for me to compromise my loyalty.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I just don't care to serenade the enemies, man. I don't give a fuck about none of that.
Okay.
And it's an interesting dynamic because I didn't know, being from the whole other coast, like I didn't know the whole breakdown of it. Like I thought Cali was one big, like, party. You know what I'm saying? Like one big, like everybody got along, and then we get in the culture like hell no.
Fuck no.
There's a line.
Yeah, and that leads to my last question. How do you feel about New Yorkers who are covering the Norteños, Sureños, both sides? Like, how do you feel about those outsiders? Like, we've been indulged in this content for like the last year and a half, you would say?
About a year and a half.
Yeah. I don't know if you're familiar with our channel. Like, how do you feel about it?
I mean, I don't feel no type of way about it. I think that, you know, it's curiosity, you feel me? Like people, that's another thing about, you know, this social media, you know, like it's opened eyes to a lot of shit that we don't know about. Trust me, I watch documentaries all day. Like I'm a documentary junkie, you feel what I'm saying? So I get it how it's interesting, but you got to look at it. It's part of our history, dog. It's tribalism all over again, you know? We don't know how to coexist amongst each other. It's in our fucking DNA. The Mayans and the Aztecs, they fucking pillaged each other. You know, Native Americans pillaged each other. Like, it's just in our bloodline, bro. It's always gonna be that way, you know?
Yeah. Did you ever hear about our channel before this? Before we linked
I
up?
did. I seen you guys a while back. But somebody in my social media like tapped me into you guys.
That's good.
To do an interview and shit. You know what I mean? Hey, where you guys going? What? Going to In and Out, motherfuckers, man. You gonna tell me nothing?
We can rock
You guys were gonna
right
tell me. Man, dirty, man.
We be done in 2 minutes if you want to go to In and Out.
All right, hold on. Tell him on the way. I'll be done in 2 minutes. I'm gonna come.
We're
2 minutes, girl. Yeah, man. In and Out.
I ain't gonna mess up.
Hey, you ain't up on. You ain't up on In and Out yet, huh?
No, yeah. I had it I've been to LA. I ate it in LA and in Vegas.
Yeah.
Fire. Dope.
Yeah. So let the well, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. And we making waves in the Cali scene, and you're gonna help us move that wave, make it bigger, because you're an important artist to that scene. So let everybody know your projects coming out, where they can find you, your acts, or your social on the social realms.
Yeah, so next lifetime membership is out right now on all digital platforms. You can find that anywhere. My Instagram is bozo.goontalk. My TikTok is bozo BAM. Facebook, I think I still got that shit. Bozo Reyes. Okay. What else, man? On YouTube, my YouTube channel is Bozo Bam. Subscribe. Stay dropping music. Like, you know, I never stop. I don't go 30 days without dropping at least a single. You feel me? Wow. And yeah, man, there's a lot coming. You know, I got a lot of shit coming. OTR, you know, shout out to the label, man. And yeah, just stay tuned in with me, man, because I got a lot of valuable moves coming soon. Like, you know, the music is just the beginning, you know what I'm saying? But I appreciate all the love, man. You know?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you so much again. It's Jerry TV. Shout out Pops for joining me, man.
We out of here.
Appreciate you, Bozo. We out of here. Peace.
All right, bro. Tap in with you guys later, man.
Yes, sir.
And I know how it gets, so I gotta stay low and I move my knot. I don't trust no nigga, I don't trust no man, ain't no friends, everybody get shot. You never know how nigga gon' throw, I'm hitting the floor with a couple of shots. You better move, you better duck, either way to go, you'll get got.